What's going on, my beautiful people? Coach Will here. I hope all is well. In this video, we'll be discussing the essential exercises that you need to do in order to build a well-developed back. With that being said, if you are new here, be sure to leave a like down below, comment down below on what you would like to see me go over next, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and do the whole thing. And even if you aren't new here, be sure to show some love down below. It really helps the channel grow so I could continue making content like this for each and every one of you each and every single day. Now with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So when it comes to addressing the back musculature, per usual, we're gonna have to go check out my anatomy chart, so this way we can go in depth so you know exactly what needs to be done in order to develop this area. Alrighty, my beautiful people. So as you can see here, we have our good old anatomy chart that displays the entire musculature of the back. We have obviously the upper traps, mid traps, lower traps. We have the lats. We have our infraspinatus, all this good stuff, our lower back, which we did a video on the other day. If you haven't checked that one out, definitely check this one out. It is very in-depth and a very good one for you to really develop this Christmas tree lower back. Now, understand that in this video, we're really gonna be discussing more so of the lats and the entire upper back musculature, also including the rear deltoids as well. Understand that when developing the back, there are two primary motions that we're going to be discussing: some form of horizontal pull and some form of vertical pull. Now understand that when doing some form of horizontal pull and some form of vertical pull, these two motions will help develop the majority of your back musculature. It's going to indirectly hit the lats, it's going to indirectly hit your upper back musculature, it's going to indirectly hit those mid to lower traps, and everything will be in unison when doing each of these motions. However, the reason why we do them in both orientations, both vertically and horizontally, is because we want to make sure that we have no muscular imbalances. So one, we help prevent any sort of injuries or muscular imbalances that may happen from lacking in one range of motion versus the other. And two, we want to avoid any sort of asymmetries that may come with doing too much of one good thing. So with that being said, we're gonna first go into our vertical pulling. So when it comes to any sort of vertical pulling that you do, essentially what you're doing is some form of vertical pull where you start from above you and you're pulling down and you're reversing the motion. Now this motion here can definitely be targeted by something known as a pull-up. The reason why the pull-up is one of my favorite exercises is because one, all you're gonna need is some sort of bar that's suspended over you, and two, it literally requires no additional equipment needed for that specific movement. Now, if you're feeling real ballsy and you're really strong at doing pull-ups, you could then continue to add load, which over time will give you the stimulus that you need to further enhance the growth of your back. Another thing to keep in mind with doing your vertical pulls is that you want to ensure that you use a complete range of motion. Oftentimes, what people neglect on when doing the motion is they'll do partial repetitions. So what they'll do, they'll probably pull up about 90 degrees, but then they'll go down about here. They won't get full extension here at the elbow, and that full extension is crucial for really getting the stretch on your lats, so that way you could do maximum muscle damage, thus recruiting maximum muscle fibers and getting maximum results. If you're doing half-assed reps, you're gonna get half-assed results. It's that simple. So when doing any form of vertical pull, even if it's not a pull-up, even if it's something like a lat pull-down, make sure that you're using some form of complete range of motion. This way you can maximize your results. The second exercise we're gonna get into is gonna be some form of horizontal pull. The reason why we wanna be doing some form of horizontal pull is because, once again, like I mentioned previously, we wanna make sure we're moving in all planes of motion. This way we don't develop any sort of muscular imbalances, and this way we don't develop any sort of injuries down the road. So the horizontal pull that I personally like to do, and I recommend the majority of people do, is some form of horizontal row. This could be with your body weight, if you're that comfortable with your body weight, doing some form of inverted row. Or if you're maybe not that comfortable moving your body weight through space the way I may be, you can do something like a cable row. Personally, I prefer doing unilateral cable rows, mainly because this helps me address any sort of asymmetries I may have when it comes to one side versus the other side. The reason why I like doing the unilateral cable row as well is because it really allows me to get a better mind to muscle connection, which will allow me to get a better contraction out of the muscle I'm trying to work, thus over time causing more gains down the road. Now, the next exercise we're gonna get into is gonna be more of an upper back and upper trap exercise. Now, keep in mind that when we're doing all of our other back exercises, the vertical pull and the horizontal pull, we're really addressing the lower lats and the mid to slightly upper back, but we're not really addressing these upper back and trap muscles. So you wanna make sure, in order to hit them directly, you wanna make sure that you do some form of vertical pull, but lifting up towards your face. This way you can actually get maximum stretch and contraction in this area. Now, one of the exercises that I personally prefer to do is some form of high pull or some form of shrug or some form of upright row. The exercise that I'm doing in this clip right here is a high pull variation that's kind of a combination of all three. You're doing some form of high pull, but you're not pulling super high. You're kind of pulling more towards your mid to upper chest area. Vice versa, as you're pulling up, you're really squeezing those shoulder blades together at the top, so that way you could get that maximum contraction on the upper back and upper traps. Thus, once you reverse the motion, you're getting the stretch reflex from those traps, so that way you could once again do more muscle damage and thus recruit more muscle fibers and get more results down the road. So this is definitely a fantastic exercise that I personally try to do within each and every one of my back routines. So definitely give this one a shot the next time you're working out your back. And the final bonus exercise we're going to be discussing is something for the rear delts, because the rear delts is a muscle group that is often neglected by many people, and oftentimes this could lead to your back looking a little hollow at the top. So a nice set of rear delts will definitely help your entire muscular development when it comes to your upper back musculature and as well as your entire back musculature overall. The exercise in hand is going to be the rear delt cable row. The reason why I like this exercise in contrast to other rear delt exercises is for the simple fact that you could really overload this exercise and go a lot heavier than you would be able to do in other forms of rear delt exercises. So when doing the rear delt row, I really like to emphasize on the weighted stretch. Notice also when I'm doing it, I have a slight forward lean. The reason why I have that slight forward lean is because as I pull the weight towards my upper clavicle, it really allows me to get maximum contraction in my rear delts. On top of, once I reverse the motion and get that full length and stretch, I can really stretch out the muscle, causing maximum muscle damage, thus giving me maximum results. You see the theme we're going for here? We want to make sure we're getting some form of good contraction, also a good stretch, but at the same time we're able to overload the muscles accordingly. And the rear delt row allows us to do just that, so that way we could have a complete set of upper back muscles. Now, with that being said, those are the main exercises that I personally like to do when it comes to my entire back musculature. Definitely give these ones a try the next time you're hitting your back. Also, if there's any other muscle groups you would like me to cover, please let me know down below in the comments. With that being said, if you liked the video, leave a like down below, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do the thing. And as always, in will we trust, my beautiful people. Until next time.